When old Henry Miller died, his final request made no sense. He whispered to his grandson, "Promise me one thing. Never touch the floor of the old barn." Everyone thought it was the rambling of a dying man. But 50 years later, that promise would reveal something that would shock the entire town. After Henry's death, the barn stood untouched on the edge of his land. The wooden structure leaned with age, its roof caved in, vines crawling up the sides like veins. For decades, no one dared step inside, out of respect or maybe fear. Until one stormy afternoon, his grandson, Daniel Miller, decided to rebuild the family farm. The rain hammered the fields as Daniel pushed open the old barn doors. A foul, earthy smell spilled out. Dust hung in the air. Everything looked ordinary. Tools, ropes, a tractor covered in cobwebs, except the wooden floor. It looked newer, almost as if someone had replaced it recently. Daniel felt his heart pound. Why would his grandfather forbid anyone to touch it? He stepped closer, flashlight trembling in his hand. That's when he noticed it. Nails driven in a perfect square pattern, not random like the rest.
Your grandfather saved
and in the
this
center,
valley.
a faint metallic glint between the floorboards. He knelt and tried to lift one of the planks. It wouldn't budge. He fetched a crowbar. With one sharp crack, the first board snapped loose. A rush of stale air escaped from below, cold and unnatural. Beneath the floor was a hidden cellar. Daniel lowered his light into the darkness. What he saw made him freeze. There were 6 large wooden crates, stacked neatly side by side, each marked with a faded U.S. Army insignia, and beside them an old leather journal sealed with a rusty lock. Daniel's hands shook as he pried the lock open. The first line read, "If they ever come looking, tell them I buried it for the good of this country." He felt a chill crawl up his spine. He opened one crate. Inside were rows of sealed metal canisters, each stamped with warning symbols and dates from 1943. He recognized one, a radiation hazard mark. Realization hit him.
Grandpa, what have you
His
done?
grandfather had hidden something from the war, something dangerous enough to keep secret for half a century.
Nobody in or out until
He stumbled out of the barn and called the authorities. Within hours, the entire farm was swarming with hazmat suits and federal agents. They sealed off the area and ordered everyone to leave immediately. Later that night, one of the officials quietly told Daniel, "Your grandfather did the right thing. If that material had leaked, this whole valley could have been poisoned decades ago." Daniel never rebuilt the barn. He left the land untouched, just as his grandfather had asked. Locals still drive past the empty field and point to where it once stood. They whisper the same line with a shiver in their voice. Now we know why he said, "Don't touch the floor, touch the floor."